Hey, welcome back everybody to Rich with Grandpa. It's a beautiful morning out here, bit breezy, and right before dawn, it was like really cold out here. Thus, a little gear. Welcome back to part 2 of what have I gotten myself into now. As you saw in our last video, I started a project I continued on a project that I started way too long ago, years, and decided to do it because I was tired of seeing it sitting in the shop in the way. So we started doing some stuff, and it's progressed. It is now a nightmare. Aren't they all? So we're working on this. Let's see if we can back up here a little bit. We're working on the headliner, and in the first episode, we were using the drill with a scuff ball, and it worked pretty well, but I gotta admit, those scuff balls aren't cheap, and I didn't buy them for this. They were bought to work on the mag wheels. And so basically all I'm trying to do is get some of the old adhesive residue and just kind of get it smoothed down to where it's going to bond with the new stuff. So what I've done is I've grabbed some 400 grit, and I'm just basically running it over the surface here. Make sure if I've got any places where I've got some loose glass, mat, and kind of get that knocked off and get it cleaned off. I probably could have used a little bit heavier paper, but I don't want to start tearing into this. Like I said, I'm just trying to get the surface smoothed down a little bit, get as much of this old adhesive material off. So I will continue with that. Not likely. I did pick up some more of the texture paint this morning down to HD. Stuff's about just under $11 a can. I picked up 3 cans. I used 1 can on the A pillars and the sunroof cover. So we'll see how far 3 gets us on this. Probably at least it'll give me 1, maybe 2 tack coats. We'll see, but we'll finish working on that. It's a bit breezy out here today, so I don't really think I'm going to be able to shoot anything today. I just don't think the wind conditions now. If the wind dies down and there's like no humidity right now. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. It's probably about, 65, 66 degrees, but we get these breezes coming and there's stuff falling from the sky. And so anyway, so as I'd said before, I wanted to do the B pillars in here because they were a mess. And so one thing that I found out a long time ago when I started fooling around with this old girl is if you're going to do anything on the car where you might or need to unplug something, don't do it unless your battery is disconnected. If you leave your battery connected, and I don't care what it is, you could change out a light bulb in your overhead dome light or something, and it's very likely to trigger a warning, and it's going to throw a code on your airbag system or something stupid. And then if you don't have the ability with a device to clear your own codes, or at least find out what the code's for, then you got to take it someplace and they're going to charge you to tell you that you should have taken the battery and unplugged it before you tried to change that mirror light. So keep that in mind. So in prepping for this nightmare I started, I came out here and popped open the old cover and everything, got off the battery. Well, my goodness, Looks like this old girl could use a little bit of maintenance. Yeah. That's one thing, when you got them back here in the trunk area, you don't see them very often until something goes wrong. So we'll just take this and kind of brush this off. I will drag the vacuum cleaner out here after a bit and get all this sucked up and get her cleaned proper like before we put it all back together. We'll do that. Get her here a little bit with the wire brush so I can just scatter stuff everywhere else, you know. Once I have a little pile to clean up, I'll have a big pile everywhere. All right, so we got that done. Let's go ahead and see about disconnecting the battery. This works a lot better when you got two hands, or three. Check it here. That's weird. Need some encouragement. So let's get some encouragement here. Hey everybody, it's time for a screwdriver. Make mine a double. There. That's better. All right. I don't think I'll need that over here again. All right, so I wanted to do the B-pillars. And look at this nightmare, would you? European engineering at its finest. I've been out here wrestling with this thing all morning. It's been a mess. Let me kind of show you what you got to do. Okay. You got to get all your trim pieces out of the way. So you got to take off this front trim, which is held in with 3 and then 1 up here. And you got to be real careful, especially at age of this. I mean, this thing's like 17, 18, almost 19 years old. This plastic has been pretty durable considering the use and abuse it's gotten through the years, but it is fragile. I mean, it's brittle, so don't come in here and try to show everybody that you got muscles. You gotta finesse these old girls. But so got that taken out there. That wasn't too big a deal. This back here though is another deal, because this piece, it goes all the way up here and it's tied into your back seat belt here, your shoulder harness, and it's not easy getting all of this loose. And you really don't need to take it out. But what you do need to do is get up here and get this loosened up, and that's kind of a pain because this tab right here on this bottom piece is just about that much too long, and it's really hard to get it out from under the plastics on the pillar, and we'll be looking at that in a minute. But so you've got your various components to your airbag system in here, and like I say, fortunately we don't have to unplug anything, but like I said, not gonna go making any promises about that. Also, you have to remove your door seal there so you can get all of this off. As you can see, this is a mess. This is what the headliner looked like when I took it out, and all of that goo is melted foam rubber, and it's all sticky, and yeah, it's just nasty, awful, and a pain to get off and get cleaned up. So just imagine that on the headboard when I took it out. Ugh. took me 2 weeks to get all that junk out of the car. It was just everywhere. Anyway, so let's get back over here. This B panel is held in at the top with 2 clips that clip into the metal railing right in here. You also have this wonderful little plastic tab that fits up into this hole right here. And it's deceiving because you really don't know. It almost acts like a different kind of a clip. And I was really surprised when I got this out that this is what it was. But this is a pain to get out. Be extremely careful because, like I said, this plastic, although it's held up very well, it don't take much to do it wrong and break it, and then you're just kind of jacked with that. Now, of course, you've got your plastic piece here, which actually comes apart. As you can see right here, it is separated, so you can easily take that off of the seat belt. The problem is, to get this out, you got to get the seat belt out, right? Well, duh. And just go and show you these are the attachment anchors in the B-pillar. Look at that B-pillar, would you, folks? Metal on metal. That's why this thing weighs 5,800 pounds. It's steel, a bunch of steel. Love it. So, I'm at the point now where I need to get the seat belt off the B-pillar. Well, to do that, you come down here and you remove this. Take that off there, and then come on, you can do it. We got faith in you. Hang on a second here. Come on. Come on. This isn't really this hard. It shouldn't be. Let's see what I can do here. Whoa. Well, you're just going to have to stand by. These usually aren't that hard to take off. However, this one hasn't been taken off and as much as the one on the other side, so oh, come on. You know, it's always the things that, oh, this is the easy part. It isn't. All right. So as you can see, that's that. It's down over that. Yeah. So, well, I mentioned this to you. This is why these plastic pieces on the side are a miserable failure on Volvo's part. Everything in here is plastic. And again, it wasn't the best idea to begin with new material, much less old material that it is now. But all of your circuit for your switch controls for your seat, mounted in plastic. And then this metal support fits back up under here. And this gets busted out and then it's hanging. So what I did on the other side was took a license plate, cut me a template to cover all of this area back down over there. It's kind of worked okay, but these both need to be replaced, and I need to do some modification on some new pieces before I put them in. Yeah, like everything else, hey, yeah, not a big deal until you start jacking around with it. Okay, so what I've got to do now is, whoa, wait a minute. Something's different here. Oh, there it is down there. I scared myself. I thought I'd screwed something up. We've got to That's a torque. So we got to get on there and take that out, and that will disconnect this belt from the seat, and then we can feed all that up through the hole in the P pillar, the B pillar. That's all, folks. Now, because I am unbolting this, and this does have an electrical feed to it, so there is part of the airbag sensing system in here, and I don't know what just detaching it's going to do. Again, that's why I disconnect the battery, just in case, because you never know. The way they wire everything on these cars anymore, and this thing's damn near 20 years old, I ain't got time to fool with codes that don't mean nothing. So, that's going to take place. Then I'll get that out. And then, I got to get back on my chore list. It's Sunday afternoon, and I've got laundry to do. I've got to figure out what we might want to do for dinner. I was thinking spaghetti or chili. Getting cool at night. It's getting into that, down home, heavy, hot meal, like beef stew or whatever. So, my intention is to get this off, get this cleaned up. We will leave the lower portion the original color and plastic. Don't want to do anything with that. But this up here, we're going to get cleaned up and do it like our A pillars. And I think we're going to go ahead and leave the trim pieces in the tan, like we did the front assist handles. I think it just, gives it a little offset, to kind of complement everything. So, that's where I'm at. Day 2 of Grandpa learns how to work on the interior of old European cars. Well, one thing about it, if this car had been as old as that one in the garage, this probably would have just fallen all apart when I even tried to do anything with it. But it's nice to get something that's actually coming apart and hopefully going back together without a blowtorch and a Sawzall. Guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Share with your friends and stick around. I'm going to bring you guys along for this project, and we're going to continue to throw together what we are out there. I've got to go down and see about buying some front end tools so I can start ripping some ball joints and tie rods and stuff apart. So maybe I'll carry you along and we'll do a walk around in Harbor Freight or something. You never know. Y'all have a great week coming up. God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.